GTR. The first order of business is to do a brief overview of the major scale itself. Now, the major scale is a series of 8 notes, 8 being the pitch name repetition of 1, in which the connection between successive notes are built upon a formula of half steps and whole steps. By moving in a simple formula of half steps and whole steps, we can build a major scale from any note of the musical alphabet. And of course, a half step equals the movement of 1 fret, and a whole step equals the movement of 2 frets. Next, I'd like to talk to you about the degree of scale. And this pertains to the position of where the tone in the scale resides, and this helps us build triads and more complex chords, such as 7th, 9th, 11th, and 13th chords. And more importantly, we can determine the quality of the chord. Depending on what degree of the scale a tone might reside on, we can determine if the chord has a major, minor, or diminished sound. To further illustrate my point of working in the key of D major, I'd like to introduce you to one of my favorite reference tools, the guitar wheel. Check it out. I'd like to talk to you about the key of D major, a little bit of theory, and I'd like to use the guitar wheel to demonstrate this. So let's zoom on in and let's look at the master key area. And this tells us the key of D has 2 sharps in the key. And by moving to the outer edge, these numbers here represent the degree of scale. And they work hand in hand with these notes in the white area. And what it means is D would represent the first degree of the scale, E would be the second degree, and so on. And these numbers here in the yellow are the frets. Now by moving to the inner part of the wheel, the green area tells us the major scale degrees, and most importantly, the quality of the chord. If we look at the numbers that are bold, 1, 4, and 5, this tells us our major chords. 1 is a D major, 4 is a G major, 5 is an A major chord. And by looking at the lowercase numbers, 2, 3, and 6, this tells us our minor chords. 2 is an E minor, 3 is an F sharp minor, 6 is a B minor, and 7 is our diminished. Now, what I'd like to do is talk about the chords used in the canon in D. Let's do some quick analysis. And we can tell here in the first bar of the song, our chords would be a D major, A major, B minor, and F sharp minor. So we would have a 1, 5, 6, 3 progression. The second measure has a G major, D major, G major, A major, which would be a 4, 1, 4, 5 progression. Okay, great. We've just learned some basic theory.